Okay, my name is Lasse Bundgaard, and I'm the national head coach of Badminton Australia. I'm from Denmark, that's why I got the accent, and I've been out here for a bit more than 5 years now. I came here in 2007 as the assistant national coach, and just before the Olympics in 2008, then I took over as the national coach. So my job is pretty much changed a bit from being assistant coach and starting an NCID program out here to being the national coach, to a bit more now to be behind the desk at the office as well, doing a lot of high performance stuff, and some other coaches taking on for the on-court coaching. But I'm still trying to be on-court pretty much every day, but a lot of my work is behind the desk at the BA office.
Can you tell us a bit more about this high performance program?
Yeah, like Badminton Australia's got a centralized program that is based at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. So that's where all the national players from Australia come to if they're good enough to play at the national squad. So that's how it works. That's how it works in most countries, and that's how it is here. So pretty much they got their all daily training 1 to 2 times a day, 6 days a week, and from here we pretty much do all their program, all their on-court strength and conditioning, dietitian, and all of what high performance programs acquire. Yeah.
What is the selection criteria for the national squad?
Like we'll pick a new. Now we finished with the Olympics, and the 5 players that went to the Olympics, they're all gonna continue. So now it's time to pick another squad going towards the Commonwealth Game 214 and moving on to Commonwealth Game 218. So in the next week here we'll pick a new national squad, and that's of course based on like your level, and it's based on like your commitment. Like you have to be able to train every day, and you have to be able to commit to a tournament plan of minimum 10 tournaments per year. You have to be committed to go and make Australian teams. So that's pretty much like the basic. Like you need to be good enough and you need to be committed enough.
What are your thoughts on the recent win of the Super Series 2014?
Yeah, I think that's like probably one of the best achievements Badminton Australia has ever done. Like that means so much to the sport. Like that we have a window out to the world, that we can show both here in Australia, can show the world-class badminton, but also show to the world that we mean business with badminton. Like we want badminton to be a world-class sport also in this country.
What is your philosophy as a badminton coach?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I think like coming here to this country, I think for me, I think this country's got so much potential. Like so many people love badminton in this country. It just needs a bit of better structure, so like that each player can like fulfill their potential, and we can move forward as a sport. Like we might not win medals tomorrow, World Championships medals tomorrow, but like progressively move forward, and each player giving their best to do that.
How do you think badminton differentiates from all the other sports?
I think it's the best sport in the world, and I think like it's such a good sport, both playing it like for all levels, and I think that's important. Like we got a sport that can be played by, of course, the best ones in the world, and we can watch that, and we love to watch that, but also can be played by casual players, and I think that diversity in that sport is fantastic.
So how do you develop your athletes? Do you have a specific program that you go through?
I think for Australia, the thing for Australia, they need to be careful that they don't copy just the Asian model, because if you just copy the Asian model but only do like the Asian model is just a lot of training, a lot of hard training every day, 5-6 hours on court, off court, training hard every day. So if you just copy that model but you only train like 2 to 3 hours a day because you have to do a bit of studying and do a bit of work, then you're only gonna go half the way. So I think the important thing for Australia is to incorporate a bit of what the Europeans are doing as well, and then find a good mix between training smart and training hard. So I think that's what we're trying to do out here.
How do you best prepare your players before a major competition?
Like of course, all preparation is done by training. That's what I believe. Like so we do training here and try to get our players fit and in peak condition for the big events, and I think we've been quite successful with that. Like we are quite good at with major events like the Olympics and Commonwealth Games to actually get our players to play the best they can, and that's all we can ask.
So is it just all hard work on the training courts, or are there sometimes fun and games?
I think of course there is fun and games, there is everything. So, but no doubt that if we're gonna move up, like I think Badminton Australia has been moving forward and players are better than they were in the past, and I think there's a great potential here, but it has to come with hard work, and I think we all need to, both coaches and players, to step up a bit. So what we've been doing the last 5 to 8 years, like we need to step up a bit and train harder and be more committed and really, really want to compete with the world. It's just not enough that we go out there and want to make teams and go to Commonwealth Game and go to Uber Cup and Thomas Cup. That's all good, but we need players, really more players, to step up and go out and compete with the world. That's the only way forward.
Okay, so do you have any advice for the people who want to take up badminton?
I don't know, want to take up badminton. I got an advice to people that wants to take up high performance badminton. Like, it's a long journey, so it starts probably here when you finish school, or maybe after year 11 or after year 12. And it's just a long journey. Like, you need to stick with it for a long time. The quick results are not gonna come when you are, like, after 4 or 5 years. You need to play for 8, 10, 12 years and be constantly traveling and constantly training. Then I think it'll pay off, and you'll actually be able to achieve some results. And so that'll be my advice for the Australian player. It's quite a good life, and it's an attractive thing to do, I think, and you can explore your full potential, and you got a chance to do that if you live in Australia.
So what are the goals for the Commonwealth Game and the next Olympics?
The goal at the Commonwealth Game is to win a medal. Like, our target is to win 1 medal. It'll be nice to win 2, of course. If we can, we will, but that is our target. And I think for the current players here, I think we'll have to target that in one of the double events. So that'll be our goal. So for the team event, still go into the quarterfinals. Like, a top 5 results will be good for us, and I think that's achievable. And then we need to win 1 medal in one of the double events. But if one of the single players can do it, by all means, that'll be great. And then for the next Olympics, I think this Olympics, the 2012 Olympics, was much better than the 2008 Olympics. The players were better quality, and we were much better prepared, and we actually achieved a much better result, even though there was a bit with the Koreans and the Indonesians and all of that, and suddenly we were in a quarterfinal. I think we were not far off making a quarterfinal in our own right in the women's double. So I think next time the goal in 2016 will have to be that we can go in again, at least to in one event, to play top 8 badminton.
So we've got a pretty strong doubles teams, but what about the singles?
Yeah, what about the singles? I think we got some good young players, like in the juniors, that looks really committed. We have to remember that, like, men's single is a very hard competition. Like, the first 50 or the first 75 in the world, they are very, very high quality. So you can't just go from juniors, go play a few tournaments, and then you are in top 75 in the world. Like, you really have to be into it. You have to train hard every single day. So the players that wants to do that can get a chance to do that, and we will support players that wants to do that. But I think, like, for the juniors, there are some players that they have the capability to do that, and looks like they got the commitment to want to do that. For the ladies single, I think it is the same thing. They're young, and it'll still take a few years before we see a player inside top 50. But that's definitely the goal, to see if we can play first players in top 50 and then into top 25. We want to do that. We need to have both men's and ladies single players competing with the best in the world.
So any final words for the supporters out there?
I think badminton in Australia on so many levels has moved forward. Like, we got the Super Series event from 2014. We got good players training hard. So I think, and we got a population in Australia that's that's like an Asian population that is growing, that really wants badminton. So I really hope that the Sports Commission and all of the people that fund us can see that there is a potential, but we got a lot of potential, but we need a bit more help, a bit more funding to get the pathways right, so the quality of our players can improve. That's what we want. That's what we need to hope for, leading up to 2018, and where we got the Commonwealth game at the Gold Coast.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Lasse.
Thank you.
Cheers.